Hi all, Anya here. Today I want to go over the advisor cards that are in each suit of the Dreams of Gaia deck. So let me just start off with what are the advisor cards in this suit. The advisor cards, similarly to the balance and alignment cards, do not exist in a standard Rider-Waite style deck. The advisor cards numerically take over for the knights in a traditional Rider-Waite style deck, but none of them inherently are equal to what a knight represents in a standard deck. So what do we think of when we think of knights? We often might think of someone who's charging forward into action and this driving energy. Someone who's not inherently a novice, but maybe a step up, but definitely not graduated to the point of king or queen, a master of their realm. Because of that, these cards don't really appear as knights, so it would be wrong to associate them with the knights of a standard deck because they don't act in that same way. Some of them are going to have similar elements. For example, the hero is the advisor for the suit of fire. Now, the hero is the protector and defender, someone who charges into action. If I recall correctly, the book even mentions, like a firefighter, someone who sees an issue and runs in and fights the fight that needs to be fought. So that one is very much driven in the same way that a Knight of Wands might be. But the others, not so much. But each of them has something very valuable to offer their king and queen. So these advisors are, picture them standing beside the throne, offering advice to the king and queen of each suit, leaning over and giving the information that they need to say. They are masters of their own realm and their own suit, their own element, but they've become masters in a different way than the king and queen have. And that's sort of based on, again, what each of the suits is. I really like each of these cards. I think they give something a little bit different to this deck, and I love them each popping up for different reasons. So let me start going through them a little bit and talking about what each one means to me, why I think it's a fun, interesting card to work with and to have, and we'll go from there. I have no idea what I'm gonna say here. I recorded this video once already and it got deleted, so we're trying it again, and I hope I get something. I hope I get something good out of my brain, because I don't know, man. It's been a long day. All right, so let's see what we got. I'm gonna start with the Scribe. The Scribe is probably my favorite card of the advisors overall, because plain and simply, it's because I'm a writer. I got my undergraduate degree in writing. I have stories, poems, novels, a novel I'm even trying to query with. I like writing. And that does not mean to come across as like, oh my god, hey, look at me, I'm a writer, blah, blah. Like, it's not meaning to come across that way. It's just something that it exists inside of me, so when I see this card, it immediately resonates with me and tells me, hey, you better get to writing. And that's something special to me. Now granted, if it's coming up in a reading and I'm thinking, oh, that means I should be writing, that probably means there's something inside me saying, you haven't been writing enough. So I could look at it as a sort of like a little slap there, like, hey, what are you doing? But I look at it also as encouragement. I love the Scribe card. Now that being said, the Scribe isn't always just about writing. That is what he has come to mean to me in my own individual readings for myself. The Scribe himself, and I'm going to refer to each of these advisors based on how they resonate with me. And I see most of them as feminine or female, except for the Scribe. The Scribe to me comes across as very masculine, but each of these cards, and you'll see it in the images that I show throughout this video, They look very androgynous. I think Raven Fallan did a great job at doing that to make sure that these cards would resonate with whatever gender the reader or the readee is. So again, I am going to be using the pronouns that resonate with me when I'm doing my own self-readings with this deck. And to me, the scribe usually comes across as masculine, so I will be referring to him as he, just for my part. If you refer to all of them as her, all of them as he, or sort of a mixture, you know, that's obviously, I'm not saying my way is the right way, is basically what I'm trying to say here. But the scribe is also a record keeper. The scribe is the person, again, standing beside the king and queen and offering all of the information that he has at his disposal. So the king and queen need to be the king and queen of air, and air is thoughts, ideas, the mind, intellect, all of those things. They have a lot going on inside their heads. There's a lot of planning, a lot of seeing the big picture and trying to put all of those pieces together. But they need an advisor who can collect all of this stuff and make sure that they have all of the information that they need in order to make any decisions or any plans that are going to come across. So the scribe is their advisor. He's the one who is taking all the notes. He's the one that's keeping track of the different decisions, the different occurrings, the different happenings that go on in the kingdom of air. The king and queen of air need that. They need someone who is very accurate, very detailed, and very aware of everything that is going on. So when this card pops up, he's usually saying this might be something that you need right now to look at your own records, your own life, your own things that you're building or thinking about, and really take a look down at the nitty-gritty details. Look at all of the different pieces, and if that means sitting down and writing it out, being your own record keeper, being your own scribe, go forth and do it. So again, I really like these advisor cards because I think they really do offer you something special for each suit. Because again, none of these advisor cards are the same. As with a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you have the knights, which are all the same except for their suits, but they all usually go by knight. And sometimes it's not always very descriptive. I like these because they are more descriptive and give you a better idea of how each element works. Not just the figure itself, how the element works. And we'll see that more as we go on with a few more of these. So I'm going to put the scribe aside for now, and I'm going to go into the counselor. So the counselor is the advisor for the suit of water, and water, like cups, is representative of emotions, love, relationships, any sort of emotional thing in our world. Like, that is what water is. So you see this figure, and the counselor to me is feminine. The rest of these cards I perceive to be feminine, and I think that is because I myself am female, so I feel like the reason why so many of these resonate with me as feminine is because of that. Because in some ways I see that reflected back at me. Don't ask me why I don't feel the same about the scribe, but maybe it's the beard. It might be the beard. So the counselor is a figure who we see in the water. She has the moons over her head, you know, signifying a lot of, the moons with the eyes in the center, so signifying a lot of intuitive vision and sight, but also she's got the glowing gold heart over her third eye, and you can see that there is also an eye in the center of her forehead, the third eye, but it's sort of being blocked by the heart. To me, this symbolizes someone who is going through life, looking through their third eye and their intuitive space with their heart, which is how we're supposed to be guided. This is someone who is very balanced emotionally and connected to her emotions, but also knows the value of them. So connected to them in the sense that they own them, they own that space, but also balanced so that they're not constantly overwhelmed by them, but does also allow themselves to be led by the heart. That isn't always easy. It's not easy to just let go and just go with your heart. It's not always easy to balance our emotions. We live in a world where there are emotional triggers everywhere. So this is a figure that has all of that in balance and acts as an advisor to the king and queen who are equally dealing in the world of emotions. So the king and queen of water are going to need an advisor who can balance all those things, who can take an issue presented to the court by their citizens, the citizens of water, and who can look at each one objectively and see more of what the issues are, can see how to find a resolution. The counselor is very unbiased and really tries to get to the heart of issues, in order to find the resolution. If this card were to come up for you in a reading, it would be telling you to be this figure, this emotionally balanced and calm individual, someone who is unbiased, who can see through the heart of the matter, to the heart of the matter, through being guided from their heart center. Now, that being said, I want to make a distinction between being guided by the heart and also being balanced emotionally, because your heart's going to lead you into the right place, but a lot of people feel that emotions come from just, our heart. And the two they're linked, but they're not the same thing. So while you should be led by your heart, which, your heart's intention should be pure and leading you to your highest potential and your greatest good, your emotions can sometimes cloud that up. So we might be thinking we're going towards the thing that is our heart leading us somewhere, but that could equally be like our unbalanced emotion. So it's really important that when this card comes up, really take a good look at yourself and what's driving you. Are you unbiased? Are you balanced? Are you being guided by your heart and not actually being overwhelmed by emotions? It's a hard balance to find, but that's why I feel like this is such an important card and an important figure and an important advisor to the king and queen of water. They need someone who has that balance, who can see through things clearly, who can see through the disharmony, and who doesn't have a bias. And I think that's another reason why artist Raven Falan made a lot of these to have very androgynous features, to show that, they're not on the masculine or feminine side of the suit. They're balanced. They work in both the feminine and masculine realm. Whereas, we see the king as the masculine side of the suit and the queen as the feminine side of the suit. Balanced and equal, but masculine and feminine versions of each other in a sense. That's probably not the best description, but that's what I'm going with for now. We'll talk more again at some other point. I'm gonna go on to the hero next. So the hero is, as I was talking about earlier, the hero is the defender, the protector. The hero stands beside the king and queen of fire with a spear in his or her hand, ready to jump in and defend if need be, but also the person who has been in the action, who has seen the action, who can work with the king and queen to help determine the right and the wrong because they've been in the actual action. To me, the hero is more a physical embodiment of what we imagine knights to be. Someone who has been out among the realm and among the people and can help work through and dispel issues and conflicts simply because of the fact that they've been there. The king and queen can't always be there. King and queen are probably rarely there. The king and queen got a lot of stuff to do. The king and queen are busy. But the hero is not only there, the hero is jumping in and taking action. The hero can provide all of that insight because the hero has been doing and working. When the hero is there advising his or her king and queen, they're usually doing it through the lens of someone who has been there, seen it, done it. And because of the actions that the hero takes, because the hero is jumping in among the people, among the realm, they're jumping in and, saving the people from the fire, the firefighter example that I used earlier. They know who started the fire. They know who was there to help and who wasn't. They know the ins and outs of a detail that a king and queen might not know. So the hero is an advisor of action. When this card comes up, a lot of times I feel like it would be asking you as a reader or the readee, what actions are you taking to move yourself forward or to do a greater good for the world? Are you acting on your morals and your values? Are you assisting the world in some way? Or at the very least, are you taking steps forward to accomplish your goals and to live your very best life? One that will help you serve yourself and also help serve others in some other way. And then I'm just going to move on to the last card, which is the Seneschal. So the Seneschal is the advisor for the king and queen of Earth. Now, the Seneschal is an interesting figure because the Seneschal would be the advisor who acts obviously in the realm of Earth. And Earth itself, while it's a realm of the physical, the finances, the wealth, and the job, but also of family and friends and loved ones. The Seneschal is, in the simplest terms, the advisor of loyalty. Someone who stands by their king and queen and just simply dedicates themselves to the better improvement of their realm and to their king and queen, unabashedly holy. You can see that there are some obvious signs of this in the actual card itself. You can see the image of the dog and the ant on the bottom of the card. So the dog representing the loyalty aspect. Dogs are known to be very loyal creatures to their masters. In that same sense, the Seneschal is a very loyal advisor and companion to the king and queen of Earth, which obviously the king and queen would want and need of their advisor, someone who is not going to lead them astray or give them incorrect information. Someone who is going to be a hard worker, as symbolic of the two ants at the bottom. Ants are obviously very hard workers. They're always working their way to get into your house and get all your food. Working harder than me, and I'm a Capricorn man. That's saying something. But the Seneschal is also just a figure of trust and dedication. You can see the different ornaments that the figure wears, the keys. Someone who is the keeper of the king and queen's most valuable possessions, and not just their physical possessions, their secrets. Someone who is a dedicated worker, but a dedicated guardian as well. So when this card would pop up for you in a reading, I would take that to mean, where are you dedicating yourself to? What are you dedicating yourself to? Are you dedicating yourself to a worthy cause? Are you doing the necessary work to accomplish a goal? Because again, the suit of Earth is all about work and doing and making and building here in the physical realm. So the Seneschal is asking you all of those questions in order to help you grow as a figure. So that's each of those advisor cards, and while they're a little bit different than the Knights cards of a standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck, I really like these cards for a lot of the reasons why I like the alignment cards. They're a little bit different. What I really like is they give almost a better introduction to the suits in and of themselves. Sometimes the suits themselves are not always very descriptive. We can know that Earth means the physical, our jobs, our wealth, our finances, our family life. We can know inherently that that's what Earth means, but just seeing King or Queen of Earth sometimes isn't very descriptive or helpful to us so much as having a name of a figure. I was recently looking at the Necronomicon Tarot and noted that each of the court cards in the different suits, they all have a specific name. So in Cups, I believe it's not King, Queen, Knight, and Page. I believe it's something, I know for Cups it was Priest, Priestess, Monk, and I can't remember the last one, but they're more descriptive of what we know these figures to be and what these figures are meant to be. So we can, you know, we can understand the word priest because it has a meaning to us where we can visualize it better. It's got a more visual element as a word than just King of Cups. In my opinion, anyway. I think you can obviously read cards with king or queen or knight or page plus their suit, but what I really like about these advisor cards is they do give a different name, and to me that almost that visual and differentiation really helps you get into the heart of the actual suit itself. So those are the advisor cards. You know, if anyone else has any different interpretations of them, or, you know, you like reading them, you don't like reading them, if you have any challenges with them, or you really like them as well, just let me know. But those are my opinions of them, and I would love to know what you guys think. So thank you all. Anya out. Bye.